Hi, I'm Rocket with Wreckless Blenders, and welcome to another Musings from Rocket Cellar. In today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about tannins. What are they? Where do they come from? How do you find them? What are their characteristics? I use these lately as ways to announce our upcoming curbside events. I recognize that's been it's kind of a heavy slog to get through, so I want to get to the main content. I do want to just spend 1 minute and say that our upcoming curbside event at the winery is on
November 28th.
which is a Saturday, noon to 4. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Now, the one thing I would like you to make sure you do is take advantage of our big discount right now. It's the I Vote coupon code, celebrating our civic responsibility of voting. And it's good through the end of November. We're not going to extend this one, okay? So take advantage of that. You can also order wine and schedule to have it picked up at the winery, or we'll deliver it to you. So when you go to the website, store.wrecklessblenders.com, it'll pop up and ask you which location. So you can say either Concord or the winery in Carmichael, and then you can pick how you want it delivered, how you want it, if you want to pick it up, if you want to ship it in California. These are all options for you. So that's the big thing, is make sure you take advantage of that offer. Now, tannins. So tannins in the wine, I heard a great phrase the other day. Tannins are the wine's pucker power. So that is a pretty cool way to think of it, because when you drink wine that has tannins in it, it feels like it draws all the moisture out of your mouth. So lots of tannins do that. And you're like, what happened there? Taking the enamel off my teeth. That's another way I think about it. So tannins come from two places. One is from the actual fruit and seeds and skins of the grapes. We call them fruit tannins or grape tannins, and they have a different characteristic than oak tannins. And that's where, a lot of the big cabs, they get tannins from oak, the French oak barrels that they're often stored in. And they're definitely two distinct characteristics. And to illustrate that, I am going to offer tastings of our Sagrantino. Now, we don't have a lot of wines that we consider kind of small quantity, because we tend to have small quantity anyway. But in this case, our small quantities are ones that we don't have enough to actually give to not give, but to make available to all of the wine club members. In this case, we have, I think, 2 cases maybe of Sagrantino for sale at most. So it's going to go for an exclusive price and all that kind of stuff. But at this coming Saturday, at the Saturday curbside event at the end of November, I will take one of my own personal stash and make it available to taste. Because why do I do that? Well, Sagrantino is a grape that has just incredible grape tannins. Just these beautiful, wild tannins. And there's a story behind the label. And here's the label of the Sagrantino. And as you can see, it's this eagle. Now, I was looking for images on the Sagrantino. Sagrantino is from an area called Umbria in Italy. And I was looking for all these really interesting Umbrian images. You've got the Vespas, and you got this cool architecture and these very particular colors. And I wasn't feeling it. I ended up in the place where I was like, yeah, this isn't working. And I remember when we were tasting the Sagrantino for the very first time, and JT was there, and he took a sip of it and was just, oh my God, the wild tannins. And he just loved them. And just that vibrosity of the tannins. And so I thought back to that, and I thought, wild. So I found a few of these images, and I contacted the artist of this, and I licensed this image as a result of that. And I felt like this really is a visual that matches our Sagrantino. And we don't get a lot of Sagrantino. In fact, in 2018 was our first one that we bottled for as on its own, and we started adding it to some of the wines to give it some of that breadth and fight. And the tannins of it just bring just really it's hard to explain, but they really create a strong wine. And so that's on one end of the spectrum. And then if you the Barbera doesn't have a huge amount of tannins. It's got a more round mouthfeel. It's bright, but it's rounder. The way I think of it, and this is just me, is tannins give it kind of a structure, right? And lower tannins, a lot of tannins give it structure. So that's, when you feel it in your mouth, it kind of creates this, architectural feel. And then wines that don't have a lot of tannins tend to be round, tend to have a more, just a more round feel to it. So that's just me and my weird shapeness and how I describe wine sometimes. So if you like tannins, right, you're gonna love the Sagrantino. If you're somebody who's like, oh, I don't like when it dries out my mouth, I think you're gonna like the Sagrantino too. Why? Because it's not one that just sucks, makes your brain lose all of its moisture, right? It fills your mouth and it has these great characteristics and great flavors. I tend to head towards more tannic wines that have more oak tannins than not. That's just me. I'm interested to find out what you think, and if you taste our wines, if you come by on that Saturday at the next curbside event, you taste our wines, talk to us about which wines you think have strong tannins versus those that are milder in tannins. Almost every wine has some kind of tannins in it just because of the way it's made. Rosé, whites, no, because you're taking the juice off the skins and you're not leaving it on the skins to get that extraction. But reds tend to have some level of tannins. And the other day I was having, my father made pomegranate juice. And so he has a pomegranate tree, and we were over and having a socially distanced, socially safe evening. And he gave me some of this grapefruit juice, and it had serious tannins. And I was like, well, how did you make this? And what he had done is he had squeezed all of the seeds and everything, and then put that through his juicer. And so there was more seeds in there than not, and so it really, the tannins showed up strong. So it's one of those reinforcement things. You're going to find tannins not just in wine. There's going to be in lots of different things. Tea. So one of the things I heard is if you want to understand what tannins are, make a cup of black tea. So English breakfast or bergamot, some of the tea that's black. Steep it, leave it for a little while. All right, don't put milk, don't put sugar in, and then just drink it. And what you're going to get is a pretty good representation of strong tannins. Now that's going to be on the more wild tannin side, rather than, or the grape tannin side, rather than the oak tannin side. But it will give you an idea of that feel in your mouth, that sucking dry feel. So that's just a brief description of tannins and a discussion on those. I really look forward to seeing you at the curbside. We'll be socially safe right now, so, physically distanced. It's a pretty crazy time again right now. Lots of spikes on this COVID thing happening. So I want you to take care of yourself. Make sure you're paying attention to what's going on. And with that, I'm Rocket. This has been another Musings from Rocket Cellar.